Good morning, beloveds. Foster's right there on my knee. I'm running really late today because I got out of the shower and was just, I needed to sit down. The gym was kind of hard today. He really made me work today. I mean, it's what I pay him for, but still. All right, it is February 4th. We have a poem today. It is called Life as a River. Our author is Dorothy M. Pierson from the Daily Word, from Unity's Facebook page from 2013. All right, Life as a River. The river of my life flows with constant current. It has its shallows, it has its deeps, but always keeps the constant current. One way it flows, from summit snows to expanding sea, endless, boundless, joyous, and free. God is the source, the river, the sea, and me. And that's it. And the one thing about that jumped out at me that's very, kind of science of mind is a river flows one way. And that's life. Life is one direction. Now, it can branch off into all kinds of tributaries, and occasionally it overflows its banks and floods. And sometimes in times of drought, it can get really low, but the river pretty much goes one direction, and eventually it will terminate into a larger body of water, and such as us. We come into this life, we live life in one direction. We don't grow younger. And eventually we terminate into something larger. And I think there's an old saying, you can never step in the same river twice, which is because the water's moved on. And the river metaphor is fairly useful for a lot of things. It's like, there are bends, there are shallows, there are deeps. Occasionally it overflows its banks, but it keeps going. Even when it gets really low due to a drought, it keeps going. And we can keep track of it, but nothing can turn a river back on itself. It's like we are in this life, and we've got one direction to go. It's what we do with it. It's like, and when you think about some of the mighty rivers in the world, think about the country that they pass through. Think about all of the things that the river sees. The mighty Mississippi passes through some beautiful country. And do we stop and take a look? Do we stop and take a look? Are we so busy worried about what's around the next bend that we fail to appreciate where we are now? And when the river overflows, when our lives get chaotic and messy as they do, or when we are in a lack mindset and in a drought and the river gets really low, it's like, at which point then you go back and remember, what's your source? What's your source? She said it, God is the source. And eventually it's like we come from God, and then we eventually go back to God. But the truth is we've never left God. We've always been in God, and that's one of the things we want to forget, or we don't want to forget. It's like the beginning of us is God. The end of us will be God again. But right now in the flowing part of our lives, while we are living this material life, we're still in God. God is still our source, and God is still our end point. But God's never, the water's never stopped flowing. The water has never stopped flowing. And we're just flowing along, you know. And it's a good idea not to get too caught up in the bends. You know, it's like, what's just around the next bend? Well, why don't we enjoy where we are right now? You never know what you're going to get with poetry. So, and I would suggest that the mission today, should we choose to remember it, is to remember what the source of the river is. Remember what your source is. Remember where you came from. Remember where you're going, and then enjoy the ride along the way. You could definitely do worse. So, why not? Why not do better? Why not remember where you came from? Remember where you're going, and just enjoy where you are now. All right, that's the mission today, should we choose to accept it. The other mission that I will give you is the same mission I give you every day. To do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Big, small, doesn't matter. Point is to do something loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. Be it one thing, be it three things. It doesn't matter. In the end, my goal is that everything you do for yourself and others is done in a loving, kind, and compassionate way. If we want to make a world that works for everybody, that is an excellent place to start, is love, kindness, and compassion. I encourage you to practice on yourself because you are your own best test subject. But more importantly, it is about building that habit so that everything can be done lovingly, kindly, and compassionately. And frequently, it's easy to do it for other people and harder to do it for ourselves, which is why I give you a couple of jumping off points. One of the most loving, kind, and compassionate things that you can do is to take a deep breath before you speak. What I'm asking you to do, it's called practicing the pause. It means that you are going to respond to a situation instead of react. Okay? Frequently, when we react, the reaction is who we've been taught to be. But when we give ourselves that moment to pause, the response is who we actually are. So don't beat yourself up for your first thought when things happen. That's probably not you. That's your conditioning. And the whole point of doing our work in New Thought is to peel away the conditioning and get back to the core of us, to the source of us, to who we really are. All right? Which is the important thing about practicing love, kindness, and compassion on yourself. I also like to say, take a walk, take a nap, take a break. Those are my go-to because, one, literally, they're good suggestions. And two, metaphorically, they're good suggestions. Taking a walk is a good thing because it gets the blood moving and the oxygen flowing. But sometimes you need to walk away from situations. And sometimes you need to walk towards new situations. Then with a nap, one, it is about getting actual rest. And two, maybe you need to check your stress level. Maybe you're taking things too seriously and it's time to go back to being that, wonderful child who hated to take naps, but got to have a whole lot of fun otherwise. And then the take a break. That's literally about perspective. It is. I mean, one, yeah, we need vacations. But two, sometimes you just need to walk away from something, take a break, do something else for a little while, and then decide if you want to come back to what you were doing, or while you were working on something else, you were letting this rest. And then when you come back to this, you're going to come back to it in a solution mindset instead of a problem mindset. And it can make all the difference in the world. I also like to remind you to eat dessert first. Desserts are kind of off the menu for me right now, which is really weird. But I'm trying to figure out. It's like, well, Lily's makes a sugar-free chocolate. They sweeten it with stevia. So I'm like, I asked my partner, do you still sell that? So we'll see if he follows through on that. Because I can't see giving up chocolate for 8 weeks. But I have to cut all the added sugar out of my diet. And chocolate was a pretty big source of it. So, yeah. But it's also a metaphor for don't save the good stuff. Even while I'm on this elimination diet for the 8 weeks that I'm going to be on it, I can still wear the fancy clothes. I can still go do the fun things. I can still go out to restaurants because at this point, restaurants have kind of figured it out. I was nervous about going to Puff Bellies, and then they had a gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free option that tasted good. So I was like, oh, all right. If Puff Bellies can do it, I should be okay anywhere else. But, all right. I don't know what I was about to say. Don't save the good stuff. Your life is a special occasion. Treat it as such. Don't wait for a special occasion to do the things. Make the occasion special. And don't wait to share things with people. Call them up and do it now. Just call them up and do it now. All right, beloveds. The last suggestion in that loving, kind, and compassionate section is always joy. I want to remind you that joy is a quality of God, therefore joy is a quality of you. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you deserve joy. So please make room for joy in your life. It's extraordinarily important that we make room for joy because it is akin to hope, and we need that. So please make room for joy. One of my joys is sitting next to me right now, even though he's been a little bad lately. There's a couple of new cats in the neighborhood, and it's freaking him out. So he's reacting in usual ways, which I would like to say we thought we had gotten rid of, but he's a boy. What do you want? All right. The rest of the suggestions are to do something to engage your mind and your body. You know, I went to the gym today. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Post-gym mineral water. It's got trace minerals, lemon, and a little stevia. Get that early in your day bright light. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day out there. So go get some sunshine. Early in your day is the best time for stimulating the circadian rhythms. Sunshine any time of the day is okay. Well, not when you look like me. It's like most of the rest of the day, if I'm going to be out in the sun, I'm going to wear sunscreen. But like from 7 to 9, 5 to 10 minutes. But all it takes is 5 to 10 minutes of bright light. If you are not available during the 7 to 9, then artificial light will work too. You're just resetting those circadian rhythms to help you have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. All right, beloveds. If there was something else I don't remember, so we'll go with that. My Ernest Holmes quote, open the windows of your soul, allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. All right. That quote means two things to me. One, it's all God. It's all God. Everything it's coming from the unseen, moving into the seen. We're all made of the same stuff. You know, I can give you the physics, but we're all made of the same stuff. Which means everything is God. It's all God stuff. And God is what gives us the spark of life. So that, that creative spark that we run around with, that's God. That's God. Or spirit or divine, whatever word you want to use. Fortunately, I don't have too many trigger words when it comes to those words. Thank you, Joseph Campbell. But it also reminds me that heaven isn't a place we have to get to. As Ernest says, because one of the writers quoted him earlier last month, I guess. Heaven isn't a locality. It is not a place we have to get to. What it is a mindset. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of heart. It's when you unite your heart and your mind, and you look around and you go, it's all God. And then you go, oh, okay. This is what heaven looks like. The mind is a powerful tool. When you set it into the heavenly mindset, you are on your way to making a world that works for everybody because you move through the world differently. And that's all we can do. The work we do is on ourselves, always. So, I want you to keep that in mind. All right. What was I about to say? I have no idea. But I'm going to remind you one of the best ways to start on that heavenly mindset is to quote Emma Curtis Hopkins. Look for the good and praise it. It's a fancy way of saying count your blessings. Look for the good. Count the little good. I've straight up said, you know what? Look at every night before you go to bed, or if you struggle to go to sleep, or if you need to reset yourself in the morning, write down 3 things that are good and don't repeat for a week. And then if you can keep going, try to write down 3 things every day and don't repeat it for a month. And then at the end of the month, you're going to have all of these goods and you're going to be like, wow, you could have 300 depending on, well, it'll be 290 if, I can't do math. Let's not go there. Yeah. I can do math, just not in my head. So I'm not even going to think about what I just said there. Point being, by the end of the month, if you don't repeat anything, you'll have a whole lot of goods, that you can go back and look at and go, yeah, you know what? My life is actually pretty good. It doesn't mean everything's perfect. And that's one of the things that you have to understand. People with positive mindsets. It's not life. Everything in their life isn't wonderful. It's just when things happen, they know that it'll be okay. They'll get through it. And that's the biggest thing with that heavenly mindset. On the other side, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. You'll get there. That's the truth. All right, beloveds. Don't let me do math again. That was just terrible. All right. So I guess I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I want to remind you, oh yes, reach out. I want to remind you that there's wonderful content, all kinds of neat things. I had a project last week where every day I shared a little snippet out of the Sunday service. So hopefully if you guys are sharing those, then you'll also link it back to the whole service so they can see all of it. But there were a couple of questions that Jesse answered that we were like, well, those are really good. We need to pin those somewhere. So I did. All right, beloveds. If you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. That way you'll always know what's going on, even when we have no idea what's going on. Or at least me. I do read the emails, but I don't always know what's going on because I forget things. As you can see by my sad attempt at doing math in my head. The cat keeps inching closer every time he stretches. It's great. All right, where was I? Oh, I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wonderful day, an enchanted day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a loving day, a kind day, a sunny day, get your sunshine on day, go get some stuff done today, take a rest day if you need that, enjoy your fur baby's day or a good friend, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God. You are a beloved expression of the divine. That's the phrase that I've co-opted because I like it. I don't remember who said it, but a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Know the truth of your being. Explore the truth of your being. It's really important to make sure that at some point, regularly, you peel back the layers of everything you've been told that you are by other people, by ad executives and marketing executives and stereotypes and archetypes and gender normatives and society and culture and religion ad hoc, at all. Maybe that's what I want. Peel all of that away and get to know who God knows you to be, who the source knows you to be, who the divine knows you to be. Go make regular trips to the source of your own being and get to know the source of your own being and get to know who that knows you to be, right? Because you can go to the source of your own being and say, show me who I am. Because I can promise you one thing. The person that the divine knows you to be is good. And that is an excellent place to start. All right, beloveds. All right, I need to wind up because I need to go eat something and get on the road to center because we have a service for you in about an hour. All right. There was going to be something else. I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.